What's going on, guys? This is Burris here to talk to you today about the Three River Blades Master Chief knife. This is a big knife, pretty much in the camp knife category, and I've had it for a little while now, been able to get out a few times with it and work with it, and I really like this blade, like I said, in the camp knife category. Kind of like what the Haas USMC has said about this knife. So let's go ahead and get down to the knife here. Now the first thing that I'm going to tell you is the thing that I've noticed that really needs changed is exactly what I just did, and that is actually the sheath design, at least the current sheath design. When you have this the way that it is, you can see that when you open this up, this part here splits open. The problem with that is when you have it on your person and such, if you are to hold it at an angle to bring it out, this actually comes up through here, as you can see here, and can actually pose as a little bit of a problem with your fingers. So, you know, that's one thing that needs changed, and I would like to see this actually kind of cut down a little bit further, because when you go to grab the knife, as far as the handle goes, you can only get about maybe a third or around half of the handle, and I like to get, you know, a whole grasp on the handle of what I'm actually grabbing. So if this was actually brought down a little bit here and then narrowed down to about that area, should still be able to have the retention, but you'd actually be able to get a full grab on the knife. So that's one thing that I would like to see changed. So let's get down to the knife here. This is 1095 high carbon steel. It's gonna rust if you don't take care of it, and that's why it probably looks shiny in this video, as I have frog glued the blade. The blade itself is 6 inches long. It's 3/16 inches thick and 1 3/4 inch wide. And the thing about this blade is it's nice and wide, and there was another YouTube channel that had mentioned that the fact that it is wide, you can use it for a lot of tasks where you use the blade up to you know, push the blade. You can even do it for pulling and such of the blade. You know, a lot of different things you can do, because you can put your fingers here, and there's a huge amount of blade to not get your fingers down there near the actual edge of the blade there. So a lot of different bushcraft stuff you can do. The main thing I see this for is, you know, camp tasks. And a lot of people will attribute that to batoning wood, preparing shelter, etc. And that's where I see this blade pretty much excelling. I went through and tested it, you know, through chopping, and the one thing with chopping with this knife was, you know, I went into chopping thinking, you know, because it feels really good in the hand with the way this handle is actually made, where, you know, inside of your hand there, it kind of has that little bump right there. The edges are slightly rounded, and it just feels really good, you know, in your hand. But what I noticed was I kept continually going back to this kind of chopping with my hand on the back here like this. And I kept chopping, you know, like this, versus choking up on it a little bit and chopping. I'm not sure why, but it just instinctively, when I was using this blade, I would always end up like this, you know, with the end of it there. And, you know, that's the way it chopped best for me. You know, and hitting the edge right here, you know, the belly right here, the blade, you know, you hit that little area, you choke back on the blade right around there. And, you know, when you hit, you know, to chop, it really is a great chopper. As far as batoning wood, you know, this is going to do the job, you know, better than, you know, not to say better, but it's going to get the job done. Everyone who watches my channel knows that I'm going to let you know when things are going to get the job done. And this blade definitely does that. Baton plenty of wood with it, and yeah, of course, you know, on every blade the coating is going to come off, so you might see a little bit of that going on. But you know, batoning wood, the fact that this is such a thick blade at 3/16 of an inch, and the fact that this is full tang, this knife screams baton some wood with me. So you know, you can definitely do that with it as well. You know, the knife has this micarta handle, which is actually, you know, relatively smooth. It's not gribby like G10 or anything like that. So you can actually maneuver this around into different, you know, different maneuvers and different holds with a knife relatively easily. You can see here it says Kaiser. That's the gentleman's last name, John Kaiser. He puts that on all the blades. You can get a nice close-up look here of this blade. And you know, it's a really nice blade. Definitely, you know, keep it oiled. And the one thing that John does that I think he could definitely change is I think he should sharpen these knives as they come out of his shop. I didn't sharpen this at all, and it was actually relatively sharp compared to the Huntsman, which is another knife that I reviewed probably about almost maybe a year ago, 6 months to a year ago. I reviewed that, which is another Three River Blades knife, and that one definitely needed sharpened. This one doesn't as much needed. This one didn't need sharpened at all, really. I just went out and started using it. You can see it's a flat grind, so you can see it's going to be great for batoning wood and such, because it's going to go right through that wood. And I actually had this blade torqued pretty good at one point. I got this into a really knotty piece of wood. Naughty piece of wood, if you will, and I didn't have any problems with it, and it was torqued pretty good to the one side. I took a picture there, which I'll show you. Actually took a while to get it out of there, but it was torqued pretty good, and it definitely took it, and it's still straight. So what does that say to you? It tells me it's a good knife. So let's go into the sheath here. This sheath is actually, it's Kydex. I like the fact that it has the rivets on each side, and I actually don't have the Tek-Lok with it, because you can get, different options if you want. This can come with a Tek-Lok, and the reason I don't have it on there is because I had this on my backpack so as to, be mounted on each side, so I didn't need it. And I just kind of carried it around in my pocket the last time I was out. But again, the sheath minus this little part right up here is excellent. It goes in there, it locks in there really well. It's form fitted really well. It doesn't take up a ton of space. So really good sheath, with the exception of that little part right there. Now when it comes to the coating, there's different ones you can do. You can do a satin finish, which is basically just a naked finish, if you will. You can do subdued, and you can do gun blue. This one was gun blued, so it kind of looks like it's black compared to like a satin finish, and it really looks nice. Of course, with every coating on almost every manufacturer's blade, coating is going to come off, so don't expect anyone's coating to stay on. If they say it's going to, they're pretty much going to lie. And that's something John doesn't do. Whenever you talk to him about stuff, he's very straightforward. Hey, I'm going to make this, but you could have this problem, you could have that problem. As far as coatings go, he's very straightforward with that. The workmanship on this knife is excellent. You can see that all the edges, all attention to detail is there. He definitely takes a lot of time. And the one thing I've seen with some knife manufacturers is the area, the bevels here, and the sanding aren't really done to match up. He really takes his time, makes sure that all the edges match up, that the tang is in line with the handle scales, so you don't have any hot spot areas to cause blisters on your hand. And overall, I really enjoyed this blade. I think that if you're looking for a great customized kind of camp knife, something you can talk to John about and say, hey, maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do that. He has a lot of different options of what he can do as far as colors go, as far as inserts for the handles go. He's going to work with you, and that's the same experience I've had up until this point. And great guy to talk to. I'll talk to you forever about knives and all kinds of stuff that he's researched about knives, and really knowledgeable gentleman. In conclusion, I think this knife is a great knife. It definitely has a lot of high points. The size is a high point. The fact that you can do small tasks, you can do large tasks. Other YouTube channels are saying you can use this for skinning purposes. I personally wouldn't use a 6-inch knife that has a 1 3/4 inch width to it for skinning purposes. But to each their own. But according to that person, it can be done. It definitely has a nice guard right here. So to lock your hand in, and there's no jimping up here, but that's perfectly fine. I don't really have any problems with that. This is a camp knife. This isn't really something I would expect that to be on, so I don't see any need for there to be jimping up here at all. But I really like this knife. A lot of care has gone into it, and and that's what John does. He loves to make knives, and he does it, and he makes really good ones. So if you guys are looking for a really cool customizable kind of knife, if you talk to John about it, I definitely would check out Three River Blades. I'll put the link down below to where you can take a look at these and order yourself one. And he also has different color Kydex if you ask for it on demand. Another thing with the sheath I would actually like to see is a drain hole in the bottom. He kind of has it here. I've seen him do it on other ones where he puts like a nail in the bottom and kind of creates a drain hole. A drain hole should be on all knife sheaths, period. So that's something I think should be added to the bottom there. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. If you guys have a Three River blade, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, or better yet, make a video about it. And until next time, later. Compared to like a satin finish, and it really looks nice.